Hi guys. So I'm here in my kitchen and I want to talk to you about your sculpture project. So a few of you have this clay to use, and with that really I just want you to make whatever you want. And it's my understanding that most of you have used clay before, maybe not all of you, but what I'd like you to try is you have some options. Sorry. I live in Minneapolis, so there is all kinds of city noise outside. There's an airplane going over right now. Anyway, you can create something that's either functional or purely sculptural. And by that I mean something functional would be something that you're going to use every day, right? Or you could use. I also have this little teacup and saucer, okay? This one I do use. It's just like a big container, and I just gather things in it. It's kind of like a place to catch random things so they don't get lost in my house. And then this one is sculptural. And so by sculpture, I mean something that's not functional, something that you just think looks cool, and it just sits there. It's just decorative. So your choice. Now you can do that with the clay I gave you, or you can do that with this stuff, the Sculpt It. Now the Sculpt It is air dry clay. And it's little. So I gave you more clay. This is just kind of a miniature thing. And I found that when I used this, it didn't work as well as regular clay did. Carving into this works really, really well. So using a tool like a butter knife or like the popsicle stick I gave you, or if you have clay working tools around the house, carving into that is really great. This is what I made with mine. It's just a little mini MK, and it's sculptural. That's how I sign my artwork when I make things. I make an MK. So after it dries, you can paint it, or you could try coloring on it with a Sharpie. I haven't tried that yet. Mine has a little bit of blue just from where I made the marks before I started carving. But you have options. So, yeah, whatever you make, if you intend to keep it and it's made out of the regular clay, you gotta make sure you put your initials or some sort of mark in the bottom. There's mine. I made this back in 2008, so long ago. So put your initials in the bottom so that I know whose it is and you can easily claim it again later. If you want to save it, what you need to do with it once it's built and initialed is you need to make sure that it gets back to school. And to get it back to school, you could keep it in the container I gave you, or an ice cream pail if it needs to get bigger. Like if it doesn't fit anymore, get it in some sort of pail with a lid on it so that it can stay sealed up and it doesn't dry too quickly. You have to control the drying. You should remember that from your ceramics experience. But if you don't have it, remember a couple of you don't have it, you just can't let clay dry too quickly. You have to let it dry very, very slowly so that it doesn't crack and break. And it can't be like a big chunk of clay. So these things, they're all kind of hollow, right? If it's like a ball of clay and it goes in the kiln, we get an explosion, so we don't want that. So if you're creating something sculptural, you gotta make sure to hollow it out, or make sure that the walls aren't very thick. Like the walls on this thing, that's thicker than it probably should have been, honestly. You're shooting for a 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit more. An inch is too thick, so if it's any thicker than an inch, then we've got to do something different. So there's what it looks like from the front side. Apologies for my messy kitchen. And again, this is just purely sculptural. It's just decorative. It just sits on a bookshelf, and that's fine if that's what you want to make. But if it's something you make and you really, really love it, I'll fire it for you. You can glaze it next school year, okay? So that goes with any of these things. Now, if you don't want to keep whatever you made, that's fine. Just photograph it and make sure you upload the photographs before you crush it all back down. Now, whether or not you're going to save it, please photograph it and attach those photographs to the assignment, and that's how you're turning it in. Yeah, so it's fine to me if it doesn't get fired, if you don't choose to keep it in the end, as long as it gets photographs. If you are keeping it, you have to initial it, and you have to make sure that it's not too thick so that it can go in the kiln, okay? Sculptural or functional, totally up to you. Actual clay or Sculpt It, again, totally up to you. You have choices in this sculpture assignment. Enjoy! Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, bye.